Okay, Pambula, good evening. Welcome to another edition of the Then and Now program. Today, the seventh of August. Now, go August, they go to 2019. It's just another very, very important production or broadcast from this particular channel, the Then and Now. As usual, now the usual and they will play Lily music for warm up the floor. Apologies, I've been away for something like 2 weeks, but I'm back. It's good to be back. It's a good feeling to be back. And I tell God thank you for una way that we don't tune in. Nalo Shebambo, because it's very, very important that we talk on the issues there as soon as you see. Okay? Now I'll make one or two key points quickly clear. And this has got something to do with social media. Social media by now, not everyone, or many of us, know say na alternative media. Before we had mainstream media, now we get alternative media, which na blessing as well as a curse. Because while some people in the try to utilize them in a positive way, others are utilizing it in a negative way. But wetin I want let we all know is the powers that be that they watch social media. They really, really care about social media. For once in this particular century, mainstream media and the powers that be not get grasp over content. You know, they don't put all kind of and they restrict things, but forget overall grasp, censor you, stop you. They can't. So it's good for them we use them wisely. And you go hear some governments they say, some people they say, but social media not to better thing, you know, they can want to be dismissive of them. I tell you, take this from me. They are watching every movement, everything that they happen on social media. They are definitely watching. And they know the significance of social media. This is serious, this is no joke, this is real. They are watching and they're really, really concerned. If they get weight today, then we'll stop them. They get the plus and the negative. But social media has been revolutionized. It has also been weaponized. That those that are faltered, those you know here that are heavy laden, like use some biblical connotation, heavy laden, want something different, something new, away from one direction, the old direction, to a new direction. Social media is not the answer. Social media is an alternative news. But let me learn how to use positively. Because I tell you, they watch. Yes, hello, Sister Kadi. How you doing? I hope say all is well. Bear in mind that the most powerful man on earth in terms of government and politics, Mr. Donald Trump of the United States, now social media now they use for communicate to in tens of millions of fans. Mainstream media gets a deep disdain for them. Okay, but on social media, we all now know about Twitter account and Twitter and social media. Now they use even for policies, to announce policies. Now they use very unconventional but very effective. The president of Turkey, the current president of Turkey, Erdogan, then we all know that they get coup plot against him some time ago, survived the coup plot. Despite the censor way try for censor social media, in the end, na social media make a polite survive that coup plot because the man dem don't take over. Just because he get access to FaceTime, he be able to use them and get in touch with commanders them and some other units them, and then be able to unravel, you know, yeah, the coup or roll back the coup. Social media and many other big ones them. So let us take social media seriously, and let us not think say because they try to condemn them, so nothing really happen. It's not true. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I beg you, I love share this video, and I love invite you friends because this thing concerns every one of us, and it's about national development, it's about current day politics in terms of economics and revenue generation, and the rest of it. Now, here's the point. When I can see the headline already, what did the headline say? The headline talk about one of the great revenue earners of the country, where we all know. And for we foreign friends, ladies and gentlemen, um, I will be flowing as usual between Creole, which now we local balance, our local balance, and then English, so that we can all sort of merge and fuse. But we are talking about iron ore, which now big revenue earner for Sierra Leone. This now the biggest revenue earner as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's an everyday thing. Just like diamond, of course, but every day they look for diamond and can get it in small quantities and the rest of it. Iron ore, we know that the deposit day and the deposit is being mined. But here is the point. Not too long ago, iron ore was one of the best performing commodities, okay, now the world market. And that will benefit us as Sierra Leoneans because if the price they up, the country better. Jobs then it is state help for stabilize the economy, they help for create jobs for the young people money they go around. So there is less grumble and the rest of it. But as many other commodities, if not every one of them. Okay, thank you, Sister Kadi. Thank you very much for bringing that to my attention, ladies and gentlemen. You're on here with me. Okay, okay, yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay. Yes, Sister Kadi, the sound any better now? Is the sound any better? Give me a thumbs up or reply me quick with a Y so I will continue because this subject today very, very important. Okay? Is the sound any good now? Ladies and gentlemen, to every one of you, the sound, the audio, is it any good? We want to let everybody get the message and very clearly so. Is the sound any good? Is somebody going to answer me? Is the sound okay now, please? You know what I mean? Sister Kadi, you hear me? The sound good now? Is it better? Okay, I got a thumbs up, which means that it's better. So I've been talk about iron ore because today the subject matter na iron ore, okay? And I've been saying, yeah, those of you who know you hear me earlier, sound is good on my side. Thanks, Ibs, as usual. Thank you very much, my brother. So let me share the video. Let me invite other people and family and friends. Don't be selfish. I mean this because this is important. So Fambulem will be talk about iron ore, which is one of the greatest revenue earner in the country. Not very long ago, iron ore be very, very expensive in the world market. Okay? The sound is bad. Somebody just said the sound is good, and somebody else is saying the sound is bad. Which one do I go for? The sound is bad. Alaji Amarana. So the sound is good. I listen to Nabi. I'll take Eve. I'll take Sister Kadi. So anyway, if we not hear me again, no, then we go do some quick adjustments, but we need to move on. This is not a long one. We just want to be precise and to the point. So 12 years ago, okay, 12 years ago, iron ore they do very, very well. And he earned the Astral government of Anes by Koroma. Alaji Amara today, the sound is bad. Wow. Some people say the sound is good, so Momo Kabo no sound. Okay, please now bear with me. Let's see if I can get some adjustments. Now bear with me here. Wow. Hello, 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 hello. Any good with the sound, please? Una give me a quick thumbs up, a quick yes. Any good with the sound, please? Any good with the sound? If the sound, there any improvement you want to make, know quickly so we'll go move forward. Any good with the sound? Hello, Fambulem. Any good with the sound? Hello, any good with the sound, please? Is the sound any better? Oh, this sound, let no can bug business today. BBK, boy, you hear me? If you hear me, welcome to the program. Okay, Sister Kadia to say the sound is better. Yeah. Kadia to J. Okay, KJ, the sound is better. Okay, so we crack on. So I've been to say, the last 12 years, the price, much better. The price of iron ore was very good, like I say. And iron ore, now one of we top revenue earner. Iron ore, I repeat, now one of we top revenue earner. Okay? That's no if, no but about it. Thank you all, Alaji Kebe. Thank you very much. Iron ore are the top earner in terms of revenue. Right. We know say during the past 12 years why the government been to do well, economically speaking, because they've been to generate some serious money from contract them where they sign, mineral company them, minerals they where them in the mine. So yes, the volume is up. Thank you, Mr. Cabo. The contract them where they sign, money been there. Cash flow. Call on cash flow per accounting. It been there. But then at some point, of course, like I said earlier, this commodity, this particular commodity, where they trend, where they make so much money, yeah, it happen for say in price dip. Okay? When in price dip at the time, we know say we be get something we then call Ebola. And that Ebola it affect the economy seriously. You see, we make mention of this because I think say we don't bend a curve. And this curve we don't bend, we get for left some things then be in. But the reason why we highlight this back, okay, historically, now because some people not seem for don't get exactly what happen. So now I make we repeat history quickly and then we move to the point. So iron ore now will be one of the biggest earner, and 12 years ago, iron ore been do quite well. So that means the government been get enough money, for do what it want do, and the rest of it, employ people them so money been there in circulation. And normally, when you get money in circulation, either grumble not day, which is hard, or what we can emphatically say here is grumble go less. So iron ore been they do well. Fast track then came Ebola. Ebola struck that government back 12 years ago, 11 years ago, that are the APC government, very, very strongly, okay? And the price of iron ore, it dipped. What do you mean by dip? It fell down big time. It fell down big time. But of course, the facts here are because now the government be depend on, now be real cash revenue, now be revenue earner for the government, so that affect every sector of government. Every sector of government that happen for affect them. Okay? So the government definitely been there for do something, for change the narrative as to waiting they go on. So waiting the government do, the government look into other area them. Maybe try for diversify them so you can't depend on one commodity alone. Because after all, the country has got many other commodities that is highly sorted by international mining companies. Okay? But still it not work. And that affect them up to the point when they left power. So when the incoming government inherits power, the economy, as a matter of fact, was in a dire strait. This cannot be disputed. Incontrovertibly correct. It cannot. They might describe it in many other ways, but the bottom line is the economy been there in dire strait and the new government inherit the burden. But back to the point where we are the try for make here, and this is it. Yeah. Iron ore later on, because na commodity where they fluctuate, in price end up for increase again. As recently as last month, ladies and gentlemen, iron ore been to do something like $126. Hence, we know that the medium of exchange where they do international business in dollar. So it became $126. So naturally, by many standards, many respects, government is expected to be doing well because you generate cash, from your product them. So therefore, you for able for help other parts of the economy where they strain. Not in its entirety, because government need boku money for its survival, looking after its people and the rest of it. But unfortunately, the point here now today, where I want to lay emphasis on, and where I want for let we talk about, is the government of Sierra Leone, as per the subject matter, don't cancel. If you not cancel, it suspend. Remember, you get multiple companies in the country. So what we know, as a matter of fact, is the government cancel or suspend the licenses of several major mining projects in the country. And this include 2 or 3 of the major companies where almost, if not every one of us know. Okay? Tonkolili and the Marampa iron mines. I repeat, 2 of the biggest, Tonkolili and Marampa iron mines, and many other smaller ones them. The government either suspend the license or cancel them altogether. Cancel altogether. This no look like a brilliant move for a government where they struggle. Okay? I repeat, I know they say not a brilliant move because nowadays for understand the language matter is difficult. This go appear to a lot of people as not, yet done in the interest of the country. Because after all, the government, they look for generate revenue. They look for, because the economy is struggling. So therefore, they look for money or places where go generate money for help the economy, stimulate the economy, etc. But unfortunately, the economy still the struggle. So to many people, they are now asking, why did the government, if indeed it is struggling in stabilizing, stimulating the economy, okay, trying to bring down inflation rate, which is in double digits, and it's been like that for many, many months, okay, trying to stabilize the local currency as against the foreign currency, which we will talk about as to the reasons why we will come to that. But still yet, with all of them tactics then they wait and don't use, auction, etc., etc., none of these seems to be working. So why then will the government of the day suspend or cancel the licenses of major mining companies such as the Marampa mines and the Tonkolili mines? Why? And this is not a big question as to why. Okay? But sometimes, if not all of the time, we do trust Papa government for make decisions them for we. Okay? We actually do trust Papa government, for make decisions them for we. So in this case, the citizens are asking, why then was the contracts of these companies either suspended or cancelled? But of course, the government get explanations for do, because if the citizens are asking, then they definitely need for do something or say something for calm the citizens down. So the question continues. Yeah, it's like Tonkolili, Marampa, 2 of the major ones, them licensings either cancelled or gone. So therefore, these 2 companies then challenged the decision of Papa government. They did. They challenged the decision of government. It's like, why has our license either been cancelled or suspended? Because we seem to meet, all the requirements of the state. That's what the companies are claiming, because they've gone through this. Okay? But yet their license are being suspended. So remember, say, Tonkolili and Marampa mines were put in something we then call receivership. Thank you very much, Brother Gali. It was put in something we then called receivership. Now the High Court, okay, where they then challenged the decision, because then put the company where the government suspend the licensings of this company or cancel them. Of course, the company, with a belief that then they're in compliance of the rules, either domestically or internationally, then therefore challenge the government. So these companies were put in receivership, and the case ended up now the country in highest court. Now did this case end up? So this is serious. The company argued that the grounds where government they use for justify the cancellation of its license. In other words, the grounds being used by the government to cancel or suspend the licenses were invalid because, according to them, and I'm quoting these companies, again I repeat, I am quoting these companies, the argument being used to cancel or suspend their licenses is invalid because, according to these companies, okay, all of their fees has been paid, including royalties, has been paid. And if this is the case, then why now is the government still suspending the services of this country? I mean, it sounds bizarre in diverse ways. Why do I say this? One, the government is cash strapped. So the government needs money. Then company here, they pay money, or they don't pay the money done. Very interesting question. But let we assume, for the sake of argument, that they've already paid the money, which is all the fees where you charge them, including royalties, is being paid. And remember, this is no joke. The case is in the court, the highest court. That's where these companies have gone to challenge what the government is saying. So the government is cash strapped, and these companies are generating revenue for government. Yet government saw it fit to cancel or suspend the licenses of these companies. So the question now, the biggest question is why? These companies did not stop there. They went to court and they challenged government's ban, cancellation, or the ban on their companies. Why did you do this? So straight to the highest court in the land. We've paid all our royalties. We've paid all our charges, all our fees. Yet this is what is being meted out to us. And the question now becomes why. Okay? So they urge the government to please reinstate the license, because all they want to do is to carry out with what they are supposed to be doing, which is mining, for which they pay their fees and etc. Okay? So they ask for their licenses to be reinstated. Okay. Were this license reinstated? No, they haven't. Some were reinstated, okay, and others were not. Remember, I just focus on two of the major ones then. It seems like it was an overall, not overall like ALL, but HAUL, overhauling of an entire system. This is what it appears like the government was doing, especially in the mining sector. And we'll come to that. Is the reason why the government is doing what it is doing, theoretically. And then we go look at circumstantial facts, and we look at some practical, physical body of evidence for try for substantiate we claim. Okay? So the companies beg Freetown, say, or the government, you have to reinstate our license. Okay? Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, take note of this. The Marampa Mines, which is a subsidiary, and listen, Fambulem, I want let we self they try for go do with research, because sometimes they where we conduct them broadcast there based on massive research which we've done, because everything that I'm saying here is sourced. I can promise you this, is sourced. Let we look at the key things that we mention and go look at them, like the companies they're waiting involved. What is their stake now? What is their situation? Okay. Anyway, back to the point. Marampa Mines is a subsidiary of a group called Gerald Group, like the name Gerald, Gerald. This is something also that's worth looking up, because it gives you a clue as to what we are talking about. So you got the Gerald Group. So waiting and undo, then don't halt shipment of the shipment of iron ore, because of course the license will give them the wherewithal for conduct business, mine the iron ore, put on a ship, send them, it's been suspended or cancelled. So therefore, they cannot really ship their items abroad. That is the Gerald Group, which is a subsidiary of the company they are, Tonkolili and Marampa Mines. So the companies can no longer ship their goods outside because there is a ban on their head. Okay? They don't halt them. But this is not temporary measure until it can be reinstated. Okay? I can tell you exactly when this happened, because it is on the record. On the 24th of July 2019, the Minister of Mines, okay, a cancel them people there or suspend the license. On the 24th of July, the Minister of Mines cancel them people there the license. Okay? So that's what he did on that particular date. So When they cancel the license, of course, they extend a communique to the company. They are telling them that they have to suspend the activities, which is mining. Okay, they have to suspend it. So, of course, this is not government. Government comes with great authority, great power. So these companies had, even though they take the matter as the Supreme Court, okay, but everything had to be put on hold while government, they play their own part, and the Supreme Court, they look into the case being brought against the government of Sierra Leone by these companies. Right. So that's what's been happening, ladies and gentlemen. But this entire thing involved a compliance, a review of the compliance with the mining licenses with the company, the agency in Sierra Leone, which is called the National Minerals Agency. So it's a kind of review, like what I said earlier, that the government, they seem for the overhaul the system. I say we go to why. We go look at why the government they do them. Why now? Why you need so much badly needed revenue, but at the same time you suspend the licensing of the people where they generate cash revenue for you. Why? What's the reason? Have they already paid? Are there no more royalties left within a period of time? Is the window closed? Or is Papa government, well, we go get for say this, doing it in good faith? Because after all, we can really say that some contracts were signed in bad faith. This is a matter of fact. And if contracts that were signed in bad faith happens all the time. On both sides, it happens all the time. Okay? So probably government come to a point for realizing, well, some of these contracts were signed in bad faith. And if they were signed in bad faith, or they doesn't reflect the time, then probably we'll have to look at it again. And this is where the review comes in terms of the National Mineral Agency. This now the subsidiary group of Marampa Mines and Tonkolili Mines, that's the Gerald Group, where actually they represent all of the interests they are. So what we understand say that they do in the meantime is they are cooperating with the Ministry of Mines and the government of Sierra Leone. They are actually cooperating. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me move a little bit somewhere else. When I say somewhere else, not away from what we are talking about, but I want let we take a review with self. I'd say we go look at potentially why government they take the action now. Is it necessary? If it is, why is it necessary? So let we take a historical view of we mining industry then. And this brings the nature of geopolitics inside the program. We go back Usa will be there, but we just take a diversion quickly, and then we come back after we explain what we explain. So it's a journey. So bear with me, and I hope say I develop them enough so that we all, go take that narrow path, forget a basic understanding of where we are. Now, the idea behind this, it beginning to seem or sound like renegotiating tactic. And why would you want to renegotiate something? The basic reasons will be that there were things omitted, and in the signing of this kind of contracts, mining and the rest of it, is so complex and technical. And it doesn't take days, neither weeks nor months. It takes years, because you've got something where they call the domestic law of things. And at the same time, you get the international law of the other side. And all of this means everything will have to be given consideration. In other words, the international law will have to complement the domestic law and vice versa. So the same thing happens with the domestic law. So we now know, say, the government want for renegotiate. But if the government want for renegotiate, why is it? That is the question. So again, theoretically, because we don't have that evidence, we can just suppose, look at it from a circumstantial point of view, that this contract, then what would they talk about? They were not signed. Remember, I say government don't change hands. So there is a bit of a politics in this as well. But waiting with a hope for that it is done in good faith, that it is done to benefit the people of the country. So these were contracts that were signed by another government which lost power some 18 months ago. So this new government sort of they unearth or they turn upside down things that the previous government did, and trying to institute their own measures. either negotiate better deals from the past. Because remember, 12 years back, there were many complaints as to some deals, how they were signed, why they were signed, and the rest of it. We know. I've already touched on that, so we're moving forward. So renegotiation, they talk about the power of geopolitics. Ladies and gentlemen, let we bear in mind, say, Africa, the continent Africa, don't go through phases of exploitation, okay? And the reason why the continent appear for be so relevant today as it were yesterday, now because of an endowment with mineral resources where people want badly. Why do people want these things badly? Because again, we are living in a technological world. So if we live in a technological world, then therefore mineral resources where they can use for make them components them for them technology, be it mobile phone, be it lithium battery, and aeroplanes and computers and phones and the rest of it is highly in demand. If these items are in demand, that this easily means that the materials used to produce these items or to manufacture these items are equally in demand. And therefore, you find these items in abundance in places where the vast majority of people watching this program come from. Yeah, Mr. Fox, hello, how are you? Welcome to the program. So, if it is in demand, that means, to be honest, things are going up. Let me be honest about this. Things are really going up. And then the demand is high. And we know the basic rules of economics, demand and supply and demand. So in terms of mineral resources like iron ore, let we make them clear, then they use them for make steel. And if we understand just a fraction of what steel represents in terms of the modern world, the development of the modern world, then you understand how significant this commodity which your country has got. Okay? So the demand is gone so much up that motorcar, cars, I just name a few, buildings, gadgets, electronics, going into space, all of these materials. It might be cobalt, it might be iron ore, it might be diamond, and so many others. I know for sure that Africa has got 32 of the most sorted minerals in the world. So they've all gone up. So it does make sense to renegotiate contracts that were signed then to reflect the time. And we'll come to that technicality today a bit. I'm not a lawyer, but some of the things are so obviously clear that yes, we can weigh in. African states that I'm talking about now, which are endowed, and this involves, Sierra Leone, with this mining activity these minerals and are therefore being damaged by mining activities, because bear in mind that these companies, by virtue of the contracts that they sign, because effective measures were not taken, many a times in terms of transparency and accountability, in terms of corporate social responsibility, which will exact the benefit reaped out of a place to benefit those that occupy the space or place where these minerals are being extracted from. It doesn't. If you go to these places, they happen to be poor. There are no proper sanitary conditions. There are no proper infrastructures. There are no proper sound school system. There are no proper and thorough and clean drinking, running water. There are no solid, up-to-date modern health systems. No roads, and I could go on and on and on, so these people don't end up to benefit yet. Yes, T-Man, welcome to the program, brother. Yes, Angela's sister, welcome to the program. Yet, like I'm saying, I could go on, and these people don't benefit nothing. All the riches from there is shared between the companies and many a times by government officials who negotiate these deals. And in terms of percentage, can you imagine? A company takes 90% and the government and people that own the commodity which is being mined that will suffer the consequences of global warming, climate change, the degradation of their soil, the erosion of their soil, the non-use of the soil for other activities in the future, such as farming, which our people can do, now become the victim, having eaten a penny, a dime, and everything that will probably be thrown in their way will be substandard, just for the optics, just for the cameras. I don't know how long this is going to go on, but this is the situation. That's why I said, if the government is renegotiating these deals, which I believe should happen, okay, but it should directly benefit, and we are watching, because we're going to be talking about it here. We've got listeners both within and without, that even if we cannot change the dynamics now, but the idea that we are sowing, we expect to reap. If you sow, definitely one day you will harvest. It might take a while. So the government has absolutely got the right to renegotiate these deals to better its people, to generate more income, more revenue, so that it can reflect the times that we are in. Renegotiating these contracts, it's not as an easy task in itself. It's complicated, it's complex, and it's not something that both sides, really want to get into, especially the other side, not the government in this case, but these companies. Because many a times, 99% of the time, when they sign out a contract, they benefit heavily out of those contracts. And the other side that owns the royalties and etc. benefits less, because whether these royalties are paid, the percentage in which they are paid, the time, the duration in which they are paid, it's not of actual benefit. It doesn't really trickle down to the people as it is supposed to be. And hopefully these things, should come to a sort of end. Okay? The mining laws of the country, when you are renegotiating these deals, has to be solid. And I will ask the question whether they are solid. I haven't gone into my research deep into that, because there wasn't time, you're coming up to this program. But yes, these researches are necessary, because if you're renegotiating, and these things, they just don't, take place in days or weeks or months. They take years. And I'm thinking, because the government is 18 months old, on which basis, again, they are actually doing this? Have they done their assignment thoroughly? Is there a selfish motive as to why they're doing it? Is there a long-term plan, or is there a short-term strategy? What is the end game? What is the objective? These are the questions here that we really like to know, because it is complex. What is the domestic law, or our domestic law around mining? What are they? Are they solid? Because domestic laws around mining has to be complex in nature. You cannot renegotiate before the terms of the contract signed has not matured. Yeah, there are complexities. It's difficult. That's what I'm saying. Neither side wants it, but sometimes there are agreements that, this is what we need to do. That's why the case is now with the highest court in the land, and the court will decide. It's a matter of law, so the court will decide. But your domestic law, when you're going into this negotiation, it has to be really strong. It has to be able to cover many, many areas in order to increase the revenue that you are receiving from the exploration of these particular resources. It has to be almost like watertight, waterproof. This is what the domestic law needs to look like. These renegotiations that we are talking about, you already know that you've got companies that are already operating, like in this particular case that I am talking about in Sierra Leone. These companies whose licenses were either suspended or cancelled are already operating. So this party obviously will feel aggrieved. And if you are not sure of what you're doing, or legally speaking, because of the binding terms of the contract between you and these companies, and then you suspend them, you are in for suing. You are going to be sued.
And this is the thing that I was talking about earlier on, because there is an international dimension to this. This is where your domestic laws have to be thorough, has to be proper, has to cover all of this. And it should be in tandem with the international law, because international law is also involved. Remember, these companies are international. Okay? So your domestic law, a complement or vis-a-vis the international law, complements the domestic laws. So if these are not being thought over, then you can see obviously that there is a problem there in the making. The whole state, does suffer, to be honest, because if these domestic laws are not being created, they are not strong enough, they don't cover all of these areas. This is the mining investment contract, the investment treaties, and this is what I'm talking about the international connections. Remember, these companies, they've got international insurances, for example. They are binded by other countries, by other laws, and the rest of it. And this is the way, just how it works. If you are not prepared, then we are obviously in for trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to say about these mining laws. For those of you who are just joining, I was just saying that the government of Sierra Leone, okay, has suspended or canceled the licenses, of major mining companies in the country. Yeah, I'm just reading what somebody said. That's why I'm pausing. Sir, you were able to lay your hands on the document released by the Mines and Ministry Resources Ministry. If not, try to do so. Don't jump into bandwagon and conclude. Bill Pauper, you see, this is exactly what I am talking about, my brother. This is really unfortunate. And I will not go into name calling or your name or the rest of it. It's a good question you ask, but there's a bit of sarcasm and you're trying to insinuate something negative. And notice that you've just joined the program, not even 5 minutes. And the program is almost, 45 minutes into running. You don't know all what I've said. You haven't seen me develop the argument. You just heard me ask one question, and there you go. My brother, please, I want you to take a holistic view. In other words, listen to the rest of the program, or if you want to contribute, then hold back a bit and ask thorough and open questions, no ideological question, because from what you've asked, it's clear. It clearly looks to me, like you think I'm being one-sided here. No, I'm dealing with all aspects, my brother. And most of what I'm talking about here, 90%, is well-researched from thorough. I'm not talking about opinion ads or edits or things that people write. That's what I mean by opinions, which they call op-eds for short, from Google. No, I'm telling you about thoroughly researched materials. Here they are. Okay? So please, take a look, listen, or if you want to say something, make sure that it's measured, my brother. And later on, listen to the tape. Okay? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so as I was saying, the cancellation and suspension, it doesn't normally come suddenly. So this hopefully will have been a long thought out process by the government, because it involves a lengthy reform of a process which will make us to look into what our mining codes are, because all of this needs to be respected. It needs to be in that document, in that final document that is signed. Okay? So we have to revise our mining code. We have to address, and probably this is what the government wants to do, you have to address such things as royalty, as tax payment, the local content, the contracting requirements, the environmental sustainability, things that I spoke of earlier, corporate social responsibility. You have to consider your local community where these materials are being extracted from. What are the benefits, or what eventually these people will derive, from their place being ransacked Because that's what happened. You dig in holes and what have you. And if there are no laws as to how these things should be handled, it becomes a negative force for the people. Sometimes it's toxic and people begin to die because not even medical facilities are put into place to deal with the subsequent consequences of what eventually happens to these people. And this is serious, and this is what I'm talking about. The local community has to be engaged. We have to understand what does our people want out of this, because eventually they are going to be the victims. As a matter of fact, I guess you are more lenient to the government than the multinational corporations. Whoever is challenging your opinions, it's a bit too late to the party. Okay, I'll take that on board, and yeah, that's a serious thought, and I like that actually. Thank you for that, Mr. Kabo. I've spoken to the brother, and the brother will have understood, yeah, and I'm sure he's sort of listening keenly. Okay. So all of these, yeah, will have to be taken into consideration across the country. Let's be honest about this, okay? We really, really need to be honest about this. All of this will have to be taken into consideration. Now, let's go back again to the government. Remember, we're dealing with this in parts. We said that the government canceled or suspended these contracts. Why did they suspend this contract or cancel this contract at this critical time? We said it's probably because they want to sign better deals with these contractors. They want to sign better deals with these contractors. Okay? So when these contracts were canceled, the contractors or the mining company said, we are cooperating because that's all they've got left to do. We are cooperating with these governments. Lawrence, if you want to talk, you have to keep your phone in a horizontal position. And you have to do this now before I send you an invitation. And anybody else who wants to contribute to the program today, you need to keep your phone in the horizontal position. Okay? That's the landscape position. Thank you. Legitimate basis. The government, the company said this. We don't see any legitimate basis for our licenses to be suspended or cancelled. Why did it happen? Okay, why were they cancelled? Do they preclude, anything, like exports? These are the critical questions that they've been asking. So the move by the president of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Julius Maada Bio, to review mining agreements, and this is critical, is alarming. And this is not by me saying, it's a major response. Guess by who, ladies and gentlemen? Two major world institutions. That's the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and who? The World Bank. So the decision taken is alarming. Now let's look at why will it be alarming to two major international institutions. First of all, I'm sure the approving, okay, of a sort of credit facility for the country, which happened last year. It was approved. And the World Bank recently announced a 60 million. The World Bank recently announced a 60 million investment, and guess where? Sierra Rutile, one of the companies which is being affected. So you see, these people invested in these companies. So if these companies are being questioned now, their licenses have been withdrawn, okay, then there are international ramifications, as you can see in the subject matter. What are the ramifications? Here now are the ramifications. Our donor partners, our creditors, our loan facilitators, two of them, not only two, there are more than two, but the most major two are the ones that have been mentioned now, and I gave you the reason. World Bank recently announced a $60 million investment in Sierra Rutile. You know what Sierra Rutile does, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe most of us don't know things, but this is it. Africa, we have to wake up. It's very, very important to understand what we've got and how to utilize what we've got. Okay? We have to understand this. Sierra Rutile, okay, it produces what they mine from Sierra Leone. It produces the brilliant white pigment. It produces the brilliant white pigment, okay, used in paint. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go think about it. Sometimes when you mention it, it's like, well, it's just paint. But the brilliant white pigment in paints is as a consequence of materials that are mined from this country, Sierra Leone. So it's in demand. Okay? So the World Bank made an investment in this company. This is an investment. 60 million. And now the licenses of that company is being suspended. Trust me, the World Bank is not happy. Neither is the IMF. Two of our major donor partners. They are not happy at all. Ladies and gentlemen, we know some people don't like to hear this, but, fact is hard to absorb. And, crass is what some people like to hear, and they're quick to absorb those. But the economy has never really fully recovered from the Ebola crisis. And commodity and price crash of the economy is also yet to fully recover. It's really still very hard to recover. Now, I want to start calling names, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, for only one reason, to substantiate the claims that we are making. Because sometimes some people don't think that what we are saying is well researched. It's not that we care for them so much, because if they really want to know, they will go check this up themselves. But when you begin to call names and serious names, then you know that what you're talking about is correct, because they can either go to those people and ask those people, or those people will have to respond themselves. Okay? Now, I want to talk about a man. And this man happens to be the Minister of Communication and Information, or Information and Communications. And this is Mr. Fode Rado. Sorry, I'm talking about the Minister of Mines. I'm talking about mines. I'm confusing him with I always confuse these two together, but yeah. It's not Yoki Soare. This is Fode Rado Yoki, the Minister of Mines. I want to bring this to our attention. You see, earlier on, I said that when they started, or normally when you're going through these agreements, either the cancellation or renegotiations of these agreements, these are agreements that are well thought through. It takes years. Yes, the government has not been there years as yet, but on their platform, this is what they've said. In their manifestations, these are things that they've said. And probably these are things that they are trying to keep up. In terms of their promises, they're trying to keep it up. So the Minister of Mines, immediately when he came to office, there's so much has happened that we've forgotten this. One of the pledges that he made, okay, and I repeat, one of the pledges that he made was to cancel, ladies and gentlemen, when I listen to me fine, that's me alarm clock. When I listen to me fine, do ya? Because I say I'm earlier on, but it was more, of a sort of question. It was sort of a flow that I've been just the give. They inject, this into the mindset of the people, the way they listen, as to why the government, and I asked that question many a times, why the government, they do this now, even though they're cash strapped. But when the minister Kana Power, some time ago, just Kana Power, one of the promises the way he make is that then go cancel, and I repeat, the government of Sierra Leone, under this minister Fode Rado Yoki, said, it was a pledge, by the way, that they will cancel all agreements that are not in the interest of the country. This is why I say, if it's been done in the interest of the country, wow, this is bingo. This is a good thing. So this was their promise. We now wait to see how it pans out, because then we will therefore understand how these new contracts are being renegotiated, what is in there for the people and the country, what was in there that this government was not pleased with, whether it was taken off, and what is being added or what is being revised, what is now basically the new agreement. But this minister been pledged, say, this is exactly what he was going to do when they came to power, that all agreements which are not in the interest of the country will be cancelled. Okay? This, they now the archives of the Ministry of Mines. It actually did it. So if you get interest in that as well, just for justify what we're saying, it's open to you to go and have a look. It really open to you to go and have a look. Yeah. It went on to say that, and at the quota now, that the people of this country, which are spoken all about, because for make the case on that basis day, is very, very easy. That the people of the country have suffered for a very, very long, and they have suffered as a consequence of bad deals, especially mineral resources, to which the country, Sierra Leone, is heavily endowed with. So only if good deals are negotiated, then it will turn out for benefit the country. I mean, they talk about an angle of geopolitics as well. Remember, under the last government, they had gone east. Okay. Fox, we've got a guest on the program. Fox, I will come to you. I just develop something quickly for a minute. So just stay still. You're there. And if you can keep them there, right there where it is, okay, right there is absolutely fine. That's a professional view. Thank you very much. So it went on to say that we've suffered for quite a long time, and the time has come, for all of these contracts that were that were negotiated, probably in bad faith. But why did the past government do it? We don't want to go back there because we already don't analyze them. Most of them deals, then they get ifs and buts. This one, more keen on that they're going to benefit the people. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a guest, and I'm sure you want to make some contribution. So, guest, will you identify yourself and where you call from, please?
I'm Lawrence Fox. I call from London.
Lawrence, you know the thing what we talk about already, and you get a fair idea. You're in a person way on social media, and they watch this kind of things out and they go. So, waiting you want to say to this particular subject matter?
One thing you know is majority waiting the cause Africa for the BN because we overtax people them too much. We not get the resources them, but we overtax. Like we then just one can give you some small help. You think no, the person they can't take me raw material. You don't know what's in the person they bring into that factory we talk about too. Like the raw material we talk about too, like diamond, like a gold, or like the iron ore the people they can dig. That's what I mean. There's a lot of resources when they can pour into the economy. For me, then take that, extract that in the commodity. Understand it? You what you get and the raw material. You not get the total technical know-how for doing, and it costs them money for doing. So now the government can look and say, okay, well, this person don't put so much money, but we reduce the tax so that when you reduce tax, you get a lot of people that will get employment. That's what I mean. Employment they come beside it. It's so much tax we reduce, understand that? And then the government they get more money because the employments don't coincide and all that kinds of things. And before passing and do all that, they don't do like a way you say research. You know research? They don't do research. And other research, they make them they go into an agreement. Understand that? And you governments not just they come, say no, they can't stop this, I want to do this. Just like I say, like the example, let me come from the layman. They can I don't try in contact with people, say you can't give me chair and honor you can't punish me. Don't look at all illegality for me, you can't punish me. You get? I don't look at. Then me come on at the house now one new person can tell you carry negotiate. Let's see you negotiate me. That means there is a bridge. I can sue you because we you carry negotiate we are not faulty on my own contract what to do. So I give up being two-way. Not faulty. Now you tell me, say, no, carry the chair, I'm going to go back. I don't want the chair, bring out the chair.
Contract, and you get a time frame. But this does not mean that the contract cannot be renegotiated. And this is the clever trick which is in most contracts. And this is not in people a need for know. Because inside the contract, and there you can also get clause inserted into them that it can be open to renegotiation as a consequence of XYZ. And this now something where they trend around the continent. The continent is fully aware that for a long, long time, they've been abused. I know you make a critical point in terms of if you don't get the technical know-how, other people in the camp can show you, the technical know-how, but it all amounts to exploitation.
It costs them money. It costs them money back home. There's a lot of money.
I agree, but it's been but Mr. Fox, they say, here is the point. Okay, I agree. But here's the point. This has been going on for a long, 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 long time, and we know it's exploitation. Sometimes not only on the part of the companies where they come, and we need to bear this in mind. Yeah, it's an inverse converse process in which sometimes the host country, those that negotiate the contract, they do negotiate the contract in bad faith, in which the company, for example, they end up, for take the highest stake. And the stake can be so high because, yes, now they come with the technical know-how. But how can you justify in 100% contract, the contractor will come, it take 80% of the contract simply because now you get the technical know-how? Would you think that's a fair case?
Yeah. I like that. I like that position. I like that position. Yeah. Now you get the fish. You get fish. No, so the fish in the water.
Yeah.
How you go pull the fish in the water? And our raw material US raw. You get some, man? Now me I get for make boats. I get for pay for the boat going to Freetown. No more see the cost me for pay for the boat for going to Freetown. No more see the cost me for employ people and for go pull the fish in the water. No more see the cost to make into sardine for that seller. So if you want, not tell me I go take you fish. You get all tea now. That is now make the man they take 80% because he's using like 80% of his resources for take one thing no more way one thing where you get. Now the fish no more you look. But
but Fox, now the fish no more you look.
International standard.
Mr. Fox, international standard. But international companies, the UN, etc., have labeled some of these practices as exploitation. How can you be comfortable with that, by justifying it? Now then get the intelligence, now then get the technical know-how. So therefore, they can take the biggest and unfair, sort of profit. Western countries and Western companies have frowned on such companies saying exploitation. It's exploitation outright. And African governments, now they say, it's now trending. It's not only Sierra Leone. From up, all the way up from east. And yes, you get the technical know-how. Some people say at 60. I mean, it can't be right.
Good luck with that, Alfred. Let the fun begin, girls. So anyway, we have our single.
Line the break.
Yeah, but Mr. Fox, the problem is you have to turn down your gadget. You're trying to listen to it at the same time on your TV or something, and you go get, breaking and repeat. So you really need for turn and down. It needs for be quiet on zero.
Okay, I'll come on again. I don't come.
So let me repeat what I just said. Yeah. Somebody put say 64. Yeah, that's all right. Somebody put say 60-40 in terms of the profit margin.
Okay.
Your case is where these people then get the technical know-how. But I was saying this is a trend now in Africa because it's been going on for quite a long time and it amounts to exploitation. It's not only the Africans are saying it, the Africans have been saying this for a long time, but they've been disadvantaged for many, many decades. But now they have an advantage, and Western nations, including Western companies, have also weighed into this that is disproportionate the way African minerals have been sorted. So therefore, a change needs to take place. So African governments have become conscious, and then they can renegotiate, if not all or most of these deals. That's exactly what is going on.
So can I
So
come?
waiting at your position on this
The
basis.
position is the power we will get now for, because whether they tell you say exploitation, you get what they call capitalism. I don't say economics, capitalism. If we don't put more of the capital, what you get for offer me from the capital I put, because a benefit, it's a cost-benefit analysis. If I don't come bring payment for you people, then you get. Because then get the environment, the atmosphere where they conducive for them for the business. You get. Right now in the African community, if you look at the African system, yeah, the only thing I don't do the fish. That's it. You can't take the fish now. Are you the taker? They don't care. You get. So if they say they want crisis and exploitation, let them say give half. If they say give 40, the company give 60, then it's a fair deal. But if the company they give 80 no more, only they give 20, it's a 9 at the fair deal. You understand the point here?
No, I not get the point. I sort of lost because you mentioned 60-40 and say it's a fair deal, but then 40, you also draw, some.
When you talk about fair deal, okay, look, put like England, England, a fair deal. Now you bring all your investments, they don't give 60%. No, they give you 40%. 40% in terms of giving you what? Electricity where you need. Yeah? Give good road, they give the police system, they give judiciary. They give something for transport you goods. They give international law that we maintain the thing that we all the environment you need for the business thrive. They don't give 40. So, they give the employment safe. Then you get 60% now, then you can invest. But Africa look at wait till the key to the investor we can. Everything was corrupt. The police system corrupt. No, look, they put some to the government system. Kind of three arms of the executive corrupt. The legislature corrupt, the judiciary corrupt. So that force they don't give 40% and in the same way, we don't get good road, we don't get good electricity, we don't get good water.
But Mr. Fox. Fox. Yeah, I mean, you outline things where sound true, but I don't understand whether you try for equate this in terms of how deals should be negotiated, because it sound like these people take great risk, so therefore them for exact maximum benefit. That's what you're saying, right?
Now they don't go cancel my mama. What you think, say? Now risk the man can involve, They cancel my mama. You know what I mean? No more investment.
Yeah, but
you don't put an investment force for let look at for extract. You don't put you not just they can they do visibility study. You know what's the cost for visibility study? For look at things say
well again, like what you would talk about the mining company. Yes, there are advantages and disadvantages. Yes, where you can do feasibility, of course, now money they spend, equipment, the transportation of men, women, we get for do the work, logistics generally, we know this, but sometimes the negotiation also. This is why it's important, for negotiate. Hang on, Mr. Fox. This is why it's important for negotiate good deals. What thing another get from you, understand from you, is because you seem for they on one side very strongly. This government, even as much as go agree with them, okay, then decide for renegotiate contracts. And I also make it clear to you, say, it's now a growing trend in the entire continent. Prior to now, we know that it's been exploitation on a big time scale. But people are wising up, including African governments, and they're saying no more. Yes, these people are coming in with their technical know-how, their machinery, and taking risk. But of course, you're taking risk. It not meet ethical standard. Corporate social responsibility is negative. Are you for that?
Sorry, I didn't get that. Sorry, get that side back again. Sorry, I didn't get that side you said.
Let me just try to repeat quickly. These companies then where they come, from the understanding of you, they are taking greater risk because you go on for mention roads, no good roads, no good policing system. So the risks are bigger. Mr. Watson, if you want to come in, send me an invitation. Keep your phone in a horizontal position landscape, not vertical, and send me an invitation, or I will send you one. And after Mr. Fox will bring you in so you can articulate what you want to articulate. Yeah, Mr. Fox, I was saying, from your understanding of what you say, because these people take so much risk, then bring their money, then bring their equipment, and now they go on outside and they can mine and look for the riches, and not give them adequate protection. In other words, the risk, you know, from the beginning exceeds the benefits. Outweigh the benefits. So, a chance nine and they take. So you conversely they make the argument say, so when the exact profit, if for be so wide a margin as opposed to the host nation. So what I've been to say to you, because of those kind of things, there is no corporate social responsibility. We know also outside the non-dig, nothing not benefits the people and they. So it might not be because of the companies, it's the people, the locals. Well, I say the local, the government in most cases will negotiate the agreement with them, because if the people from where these ores or natural resources are being mined and taken from, they don't exact the benefit in terms of good roads, we're supposed for them a contract, medical facilities, you know, or things we get for before them. That is not a good contract, Mr. Fox.
Excuse me, sir. Me, what I can't for do. I can't for confirm damn one and this and that. Me not care about your good and this, that. No, look, that is what is disturbing Sierra Leone, because people think we have natural resources and then they for make the country better. That is dumb. So you allow me to make I can vex. Governments get responsibility.
No, dumb is actually allowed on the program because the context in which they use them is allowed. We understand that. I mean, a lot of people when they watch you now, they understand semantics, by the way.
Yeah. What I say is a lot of, if I want to go do mining in London, now once Ubasai water, I get all the necessary resources that we did. So the government don't give me like a 40%. When they talk to me like a big man, because then we'll get all team for you. What do you need for to go put your boots in the water and collect and commodity? Not only responsible for fixing the road for them, I'm not responsible for getting electricity, I'm not responsible for getting water. That's not my responsibility. I get cost-based responsibility, yes, possibly sometimes for this scholarship to pick in there. When at the area I give sometimes some free this, that. But my corporate responsibility is limited. Whereas in Africa, they want to make your corporate responsibility bigger than even, they don't assume, say, because they get this fish, if for feed the all till the year done, 9 for developed salary. That is dumb.
No, Mr. Fox. The characterization is actually unfair, you know, here to the people in there. And this is not exactly what I mean. And this is not to show the thing they work. I just tell you, say, they only go negotiate. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this question straightforward. Do you believe that bad deals, you know, yeah, like mining deals, have been signed or have been signed in the past? And this not from the international side, though, from the local side.
If I don't see the I don't tell you, see, if I don't see the contracts, I don't go for C, A, B, C, D, E. But the fact here is, they don't look at the possibilities for me to sign a deal. And we sign a deal, you get illegally binding. Not just to go sign and say this, so. Or you want to cancel a deal, that somebody for me to perform for me to cancel a deal. If the person don't misperform on your own part for carry a deal, you want to stop the deal, it gets legal implication. It is illegal. You get just like I was say, like I suppose for Canada you as a can't no,
Mr. Fox, it's not necessarily illegal. It depends on waiting the inside. I do a little bit of contracts and bill, you know, I study a little bit of oil, you know, yeah, like contracts, you know, the lawful side. Now I make the talk say it depends on, because most times there are safeguards in contracts. Lily clause in the inside where una can trigger. It's not like football deal, you know, you're then football players. Yeah, so you can't say it's illegal simply because somebody invoke a clause where they inside a bill that you say it's illegal. No. So you make a declaration where you're not sure of what the bill look like.
Yeah. Now make I tell you, see, there is a lot of dependable variables in that particular deal. If the man they perform what he's supposed to do, you just go suspend them, that is illegal. That puts another way. If the man they do what he's supposed to do, then you can stop the deal. Because if you're supposed to forgive this, you're not supposed to do them, then you can stop the deal. If the man they do what he for do.
So I'll ask you. Ask you one final question, Mr. Fox, all because of time. Waiting we now know is the government has suspended the licenses. And remember the background of this. The background of this is, first of all, the economy is in the economy is in dire strait. So the government certainly need cash. But at this same critical time, the government has suspended the license or canceled the license of major mining companies, including Tonkolili and Marampa mines. Okay? The question here is, why now? Could it be in good faith? The government sees the deal was bad and they try to renegotiate so that it will have a better deal that will better the country. What's your take?
Well, my take is, as I tell you, they want money. They want to stress the people if they don't come. They don't can sign the deal. Just like the Mama airport, we don't sign and done. We for go on and do. So why you can't stop? Who's good faith? Who's good faith with it? The economy is in disarray from day one. The economy is in disarray. Look at inflation. Look at the dollar. Look at the pound. Understand? The economic activity, the social activities in Salone, the Hamburg, the one overall activity in Salone, the political environment. I tell you this: 40% of them forget the people there. Political environment, the judiciary crazy, the executive crazy, the legislature crazy. You get? They bring more investor than come. You understand what I try to say? They bring no investor than come at all. So now we begin stressing people and we don't sign deal with the former government. You say you want more money. So they put more money. They know they give more money. They know they give more money. That is wrong. That's how they say. You know they go stress them. Now if they fail for perform their own part, now you can suspend the contract. But you cannot suspend the contract because you are really shit. That's not done. It's not done. That is wrong. And if they send a bad environment, if they send a bad message to other international bodies, international companies, say Salone to place with nights for the people. And that point that they make.
Okay.
They send bad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. But I'm glad the way you participated, able for give your opinion and your view now the program. But let's bear in mind, say the country, whichever way you see them, or the government, whichever way you see them, there is some degree of a rule of law. And now contract is a binding thing, but it not mean say it cannot be challenged. So even when you challenge law members say it didn't at the highest court right now. It's been looked at.
So why you for go to court? And when you are a challenger, when you are a challenger, why you for begin to court? Because you want money.
No, Mr. Fox, not all the government went to court. You seem for the miss these things. Not all the government go to court. The government take the onus for challenge, for cancel or suspend then contracts they are from then company they are. Then company they are see and say enough fair, because they don't pay all their royalties and then taxes. So why you suspend or cancel with things now? So they took them to court. But Fox, these things happen. This is what you have to bear in mind. Don't freak out, brother. These things happen. That's all we are saying. It happens here in Britain. It happens in the United States.
Excuse me, sir. Then it sends a wrong signal to who? To other businesses. That country they not trust her. We good in and so good they happen. It not make sense. If the man not perform,
if that was
if the man not perform, there's a difference between performance, and you think say you want to change the contract. Look at that one day straight. Because that you understand. If I don't sign with you, Papa, I follow what you Papa say. Now we contract that. Whether I use the son can't take over, I don't care about you. I'll get the contract.
Okay, Mr. Wuri, send me your invite, so I will bring you on. Fox, thank you very much for your contribution as usual. Very interesting view. And thank you so much, brother.
Yeah.
No worries. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a regular. That was a regular contributor on the program, then and now, Mr. Lawrence Fox, just giving us his perspective on the entire issue. Ladies and gentlemen, for you, those of you who just decide on now, we talk about the government of Sierra Leone has suspended since July 24th or cancelled the licenses of major mining companies in the country. And this involves two of the biggest one, the Marampa. The question here is, Dinosaurs, Ibrahim Wuri, you guys just send me an invite. We will make a short. I'll take Ibrahim Wuri first. And ladies and gentlemen, your phone most likely that you're using in a horizontal position, landscape. And then you send me the invite. Dinosaurs, I will take you next after Mr. Wurie. I want to hear what Mr. Wurie has got to say. So the government has got a right, and this is the thing. Like my previous yeah. Okay, finally we got Mr. Wuri.
Finally we got Mr. Wuri.
Mr. Wuri, you have to turn down your gadgets, your television, or whatever you're watching
the program on.
Other than that,
Yeah.
we'll be repeating. We'll hear a repeat, and the audio will not be clear.
Yeah. Can you get me now?
Yes, I can get you loud and clear.
All right. Thank you very much for able for invite me in this forum because my forum
Make us say something quickly.
Right.
Your time won't be long, but I will give you chance to express yourself. And the reason why I know they ask you questions. Because now me they get repeat. I hear you clearly, but me they get repeat. But I know say you want to make a contribution. So the floor is all yours. Just flow.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much for inviting me in this wonderful forum because I can watch your programs there. I just want to contribute a little bit about what Mr. Fox will try for talk about the government. First of all, we get for applaud, give a massive thanks to His Excellency the President. Me, not a politician. I'm not in favor of SLPP. I'm not in favor of APC. But the mind and the attitude, the guts where the president take for cancel the Mama Airport, they always they get 100% support. Because we get to look at the system na salon. And like then legal diamonds there, legal minings there we go stop. Where we say this man is talk say the social corporate responsibility where the people they will own the land and not forget I didn't even get it. What did this young man they try for talk? People then just they come on a salon because now a virgin land, just they go take it, they do APC government or SLPP government, just they do a deal, which this deal they go against the will of the people of the country. For me, as a Sierra Leonean, law abiding and respect the rules and regulation of the country, I think that the government do the right for able for moderate this kind of corruption. This is one of the things where we all politics is over. Let's forget about this politicizing, try for brainwash the people them who are not able to get the lily natty because within the Western world, they try for criticize this democratic elected government. This is a government when we choose them. We all vote for this government. Even though some of us we are not politicians, some of us we are not supporting corrupt government, but any government of the day, they have the right, the mandate for suspend any legal activities them where they go on at the country because the country not for one party state. The country not belongs to APC, the country not belongs to SLPP. Any government will come, they need for clear the doubt of the people the way we always get doubt on. Imagine when they go get a contract to a mining for do 99 years. That contract is not a authentic contract. Why don't people they do that see a roadside thing? They're not able to do the job inside the country themselves. Let the people then get a job. At the end, ferries cheaper than they where they travel. The minerals in the Western world than one of the bad governments where we always try for condemn. So if this government come, the Mama Airport, let's think about this Lunge Airport. What wrong with Lunge Airport? How many people they see for going to salon for a day? Where we say in other Africa countries there, the planes they drop plane, they come. Salon are 3 planes that they come for the day. We know they're able to refurbish them, we make them to the standard of living rather than for go make a contract where we say the debt, we're not going to pay them. We begin and they come, they're not going to pay them. Because the debt they go pile up into debt. Now bad infrastructure of government. So if the president condemn him, let all man support this man. Now God now in choose them. We just go to the ballot for choose a candidate or a head of state. The president they do in job. Let we leave alone within cabinet. If they fail we 2023, with the point and to I say you are not the right thing. And we as Australians, allow we just dey look at the people them who love we self before you go begin to die for person wey no get for benefit you. Corruption needs to be gone. It need to go. For go make legal mining there. We get Chinese man the way be say, look at the road infrastructure. This young man they say for go make road, now this and that. What did he mean? Western Wall, I've based in the UK for over 20 years. We not ever see this kind of thing. The job we say they do and they try for make every day then they make the votes because one of the vote the network for the vote this is a paramount. So if somebody they go dig like your area, they go pull me on they go pull me on land. It's a corporate social responsibility not to think when not compulsory. I didn't get this man right. I don't know which man if this man is Australian or na a partyism because them believe on party. We are not on party. We are on about Sierra Leone. If APC not well, even any other party come, we the people of Sierra Leone for they be in the same post we can let the country go before. But if we not change your attitude for criticize any leader we come, even if we take the Queen of England, they go put her under. Lahi, my brother. Now the same attitude we they go through. Now this number I get for you. We need to change your attitude. Let's forget about politics. Let's support the man where we don't choose. Now people don't choose them. And God does say this man for come back for come become a leader in the country. But criticism, Salomon get for left hand. If we not left hand, Salon go beyond past if you don't do so now.
Oh,
Politics don't do. Let them support. Let the job go.
okay, my brother, brother Ibrahim Mori.
Brother Ibrahim Mori.
Thank you very much for your contribution,
Thank
sir.
you very
And
much for
always
your
come back
contribution,
again.
sir. And always come back again.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was the
Okay,
voice
that was
of
the
brother Wuri.
voice of brother Wuri.
Dinosaurs himself wanted to come on.
Dinosaurs
Dinosaurs, if you're listening,
come on, Dinosaurs, if you're listening,
you need to resend
you need to resend
your invitation.
your invitation.
Okay, let me just wait for brother Wuri to go off. Okay, so he's gone. So let's see whether we can get the other brother to make a contribution. So I want to say something while we try for get the next brother about mining contracts. You know the benefits where the salon they get from their mining contract there. We know say it come out from with natural resources or wealth, as most people can call them. And how will they determine this? Now by the contract, and that have been tell me from a guest. Dinosaurs is declined, so you need to try again. You need to keep your phone in the horizontal landscape position, please. So complex mining contract between a host country and the investor. The investor or this both party them can regulate the allocation of cost, risk, profit, and benefit, which potentially can go over a period of 10 years. Don't get good faith, go down, rip your country apart, and they don't get the money long term. Because sometimes again, it comes to the point here, say when these deals are negotiated, they're not negotiated in good faith. Can you imagine? We need for watch companies them na Ghana. We need for watch companies them na other. I'm not saying that they exploit the other countries them more, but Ghana is becoming of age. Rwanda is becoming of age. That contracts then that they negotiate because they understand. Most times we don't understand. Waiting for put inside a contract there. For example, that one dotty where people and they can pull, it will contain so much other things. But what we know or what is proven to us is it get only iron ore. And that dotty, the members in the Wasana, so the negotiation is done only for that particular dotty day for go out and nothing else. So this is the way it's been happening. So if at some point you realize that, okay, then you absolutely need for do something about it. So we get to other guests, but before I go to Ramabin, just want to end this quickly, okay? One common perception about mining contract between the investor and the host country, in this case, Sierra Leone, and exactly what me other hosts been talk about, Mr. Fox, that everything can fit within the law of the host country, in this case again, Sierra Leone. But while they talk about the host country in law, there are two kinds of laws. You get the general constitutional law, and the ministry or something regarding the mining area. But both laws have to complement each other. Other than that, there's a dysfunction, and most of them people here can come and abuse the nature of this. Anyway, Dinosaurs, welcome to the program. First of all, you sort of the sit down upside down, and if we can make them a bit professional, you know, yeah, like you know, flip them on your left, so we get a perfect split screen. No, you need, yeah, okay, that's brilliant. Okay, that's it exactly there. So if you can introduce yourself, and then you can tell us exactly whose contribution what you want to make to the program regarding the subject matter, please.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I mean, Johnson, I'll make small contribution, like my past experience. Actually, I don't know much, so I don't want to say much about this. Why they suspend company here, so they must get a reason. I don't. Yeah, you say the reason yet. The reason actual, because the minister must get to thing a foul play by the deal, or not the continue the benefits.
Okay, la pause you right there and repeat what the minister said. The minister is on record for saying that most of those deals were negotiated in bad faith. And he did not make a pledge say, yes, when he come to government, all the deal then he go cancel them. The minister is on record for saying it. So that's why if we go listen to the minister.
Yeah, I cancel that word there. Because like if you don't get contract to somebody, then you can realize the contract you be signing in bad faith for cancel that contract there and renegotiate. Well, maybe they will cancel one. They place it on a table.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, but I mean I don't want to talk for the government, I don't want to talk against the government. I just want to give me own idea that when we get for African minerals them who they come out.
Yeah, please tell us. Feel free.
Like 1992, I be the Guinea when Conte same thing one do the same thing, one stop the iron ore they go. Then Gaddafi began plant pineapple plantation at Guinea. So Conte wants the council agreement, so let them stop this. Then they can mine just the current Tiago, train the current Tiago. Conte say one make new agreement, the company not agree. So well, what to the Kego no can do again, I can manufacture and make country. Instead of na the export and go, I can do another country now. At least let them can do an answer, then they will carry the goods to then go. They can realize the company now they can take them mineral. Most of them not to them they go process them. They say if not selling the go sell. They can mine the iron ore.
Okay, I think the line is getting.
Yeah, go on. They sell them. You don't understand?
Yeah.
So they say no to them the process. So like it difficult now, it began difficult for Conte. So we can let go and continue. So I know that at the end, but we did it in the early 90s because I began small. Sorry, call keep coming in. I began small, so I be no. Okay, then I'm experienced in Guinea, but in Sierra Leone, experience again as alone. In the 2000s, 2006, 2007, I be go Kenema for go buy cacao. I be get small change. Say I go do small business as alone. I go see, I go buy this cacao. Let me save the center out. So I go to Kenema for 4 years. I go Bolombo, Gando, this all the small town there. I go see them sell the cacao. The farmer them all they suffer for pulling cacao here. Then they sell them 500 million for that year. They are not for now. Then they sell them 500 million for kilo, big kilo, 500. The good one, the good quantity, 1,000. Now so the farmer then they sell the cacao. I go look down there. When you look, where you do research, one come over, come all and I can look, come and one begin to the business. I go do the research and I can look for sale. Enormous. Then I not call special people them. The one the way they buy to them farmer then they 500 almost them they can sell them. then they can sell them $12 for 1 kilo.
Mm.
So if you go buy something to farmer or they suffer, or they dig, then they brush anything and they suffer hard one. Not that the government don't know anything. Not that the government they pass one or the pass one or this one or that. They know anything. So when they talk, therefore look all the sign and if you they go buy anything to farmer, or they suffer again family. So then farmer and so now 2 steps on it. Again 12 picking. You go buy 1 kilo, 500 leons. And sometimes if you that why sometimes they can hold because sometimes I think load on a bike or inside must out and I can force it for buy because it's not bad or sell some bad. Sometimes if you go buy 2 kilo for 500.
So, Mr. Johnson,
I
take and say, if I understand what you try for narrate is,
try for tell you say
you get some fair, then get some unfair judgment them. There are risks here, but then get some unfair judgment them. So, how you see them? Do you think it necessary, based on what we talk about, for them to renegotiate the contract because apparently to them it not be fair, so therefore they need for looking to them again, or it be different people let me negotiate them?
That's where they come. Because if they can buy this cacao to that farmer or the suffer for 500 leons, you go sell on $12. Then about 14 years ago, now they tell you about so. I don't know for now, I don't know the price, because I don't pull on I don't get the money. If you can buy 500 leons for 1 kilo, you go sell on $12 for 1 kilo. So that don't show you how they reap people them back home. So if not the same thing the government see, if now the right thing they want to do, actually not that they see. They go to the what me see. If not in they see, let God help them. But if not politics, business, or not whatsoever, it's nobody game, make them continue. But if not that they see, what me see, how people in the suffer and they reap we over and that. If not that, they see. If not that, no problem. Let them go ahead. Let them if they're able to give them, let them give them. Another company can, no problem.
Okay.
If you so fair. And see too much, people then they really they suffer. Well, really they reap with. Which is not good.
So a fair take, and that's what I was trying to say to the guest and other guests.
If it is legal back for suspend contracts, we don't make. If it's legal back, it's fine.
Yeah, I will talk on that. I actually talk on that briefly.
If it's not legal, if it's not legal again, because we don't suspend, we don't cancel one contract first, the airport, don't can do this back, and we depend on them people there for coming, because it depend on them coming there for investors, this that. Because I don't know the Lunge Bridge and I don't know if they still get investor whatever. So
two different things. They all sound like contracts and the rest of it, but they are technically different. With the Mamama airport,
but all are investors.
Yeah, now investor, but now loan the government go look for and they approve the loan. And since the deal not take place again, then the people are not pay their money. So then they stop. Now the country, if not been plus for the country, then we go say now the country now in suffer. If not be minus for the country, then we go say now the people are in suffer because not go take their money. But the idea is that was cancelled. Okay. In terms of what we talk about now, this is already existing. Okay, these are contracts that have been signed. The people are not paying their royalties and then taxes. Okay, but the government looks say the way how these contracts were signed were not fair to the government. Exactly what they're supposed to get out of it. So what the government say is we really need for look into this because the way I've been signed is not fair. So one look into let we sign a fair deal where go benefit everybody, the country, and etc. So for example, if you've been a pay something, just like how you say, good analogy, the farmer they under in they do the hardest of works, okay? But in money when they go pay for in cacao na 500 per bag or so. But that other man when they go buy when they go buy inside and at the risk then they were involved, I believe say the other guests been the try for talk about. He risk himself, he mosquito better, snake better, or what have you, but he go inside it, he go buy for that 500 and he go through all the strain them for transport them. But still yet that does not make it fair because at some point somebody realized say there's a mismatch. You know, there is something about humanity inside, or human rights, and this is what people need to understand. So we bring and come back to the mining companies. You know, go give a mining company a contract of 100 years, where the term where you begin that contract day, you're not being educated enough for realizing this is 100 years, and during that 100 years day, things get for change, and when things then change, now it make nowadays people are getting smarter, and they put something inside the contracts, just like football contract or then sports contract. Some clause get for go inside it. Say, if I sick, you go pay me. Whereas before, that clause did not be the inside. So the employer now they under obligation for pay you when you sick, because by law it not the inside it. Now people are getting smarter. Say, hey, if the price of the thing change, they will go get for adjust. Or after 2 years, I sign 10-year contract with you. But after 2 years, we will get for sit down and revise and look at the reality on the ground. So people are getting smarter. It's not like
But yeah,
it's unconstitutional
like that
and
was
not right.
that was for sign contract with company for 100 years. That makes sense.
No, it not make sense at all. But remember, this is reality. Long time ago, African companies then they do them, and the companies the way they come, even though then they come with their technological know-how, but it was about exploitation, and exploitation itself is unacceptable. So as we move into the 21st century, even the people that they can exploit you now, or them people, and they say no, but this boy not fair, bro. You know when they go take 90, you left 10 day no more. You turn about the dirty and the soil, and filthy the place, and people and die from diseases and what have you. Hospital not they say for treat them. Now they corporate social responsibility come in, and many other things, So now this and the kind of things them now they understand, say people and they look at, because before I come to studio, I also look at mining laws. You can see the paper that I'm in, and these are trending things where they take place all over Africa, because Africa get over 32 minerals that the world wants, and now. And not so now they get more. You don't tell where they get it. You don't tell where they exploit Africa. Africa don't they realize in potential. Slowly, they are realizing this, and then they say, but that deal will be made today. But yeah, but it not be fair. Let we sit down back, let we make a new deal. Because when they take 80, me they take 20, where na me get the soil, na me they produce the thing. You come with your material. But if you take 60, that's fair. And this is what countries like Ghana and Rwanda, they do. Fair deal. It's not like not you come with them. Yes, now you come with them. But you get for understand, say there are stakes on the table as well. You will bring your money come, you get stake because you get your money. Me self, you get stake because I get something which you want. How do we bargain, for firm common ground in the middle? This is what is important in bargaining. Now, it make in terms of conflict as well, it don't move away from conflict resolution. We're full of all kind of time, talk, and we go begin look to conflict prevention. So first of all, you prevent the thing from happening so that you don't get for go into a resolution state. So things have moved on, and people need to understand that. So this is where we are, Dinosaurs. Thank you very much for calling. And also, you call from again?
Northampton.
Northampton. Very well. Thank you very much. I visited your place once or twice. A nice little quiet place, from all this, noise in London. Yeah.
Village boy. I like the village.
I make you be the go Kenema for go do your business.
Yeah, I like village. I like city.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much for calling me, brother, and thanks for always participating in then and
no problem.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was just another guest on the program, and we'll end this program soon because we approach the 2-hour mark. I've been feeling at 1 hour they do one for. But I want to talk about mining contracts. So I've been to talk with the brother, about. There are benefits to be reaped by both sides to the equation. The people that we get the mineral or the country, and the people themselves we can hustle. Now, hustle the other people and can hustle, But we need for sign good deals. The record shows say, over many, many decades, and this key word I keep they talk about now exploitation. Yeah, Sister Binta won't come in. Sister Binta, this is interesting. Yeah. What I want to let you know, if you want to come in the program for contribute, you need for keep your gadget in the horizontal position, landscape position, and then you send your invite. If you not be known to them, the system not go accept you. So you go get for wait again. After that, make sure say you keep on in the landscape, not vertical, landscape. Yeah? Then you can send your invite and then you come and make your contribution. So this is what we are talking about. Countries in Africa are waking up to the reality and saying, this exploitation has been going on for a long time. But But I don't want to broaden the scope today because I they zoom in on Salone. So if Sierra Leone call or the government call, say we want to renegotiate contracts, I mean, this should be something that we should, be celebrating, regardless of where in the political aisle you are, whose pathway you dey. This ideological support, which is kind of tunnel vision, just focus, before they see left, they see right. Sometimes we get for do away with them. Mining code has to be revised, and probably this is what the government is trying to do. Okay, there she is. Yeah, wonderful. I'm so happy for say you try for join the program. So you sort of move away from the WhatsApp forum, and you come to say now the subsidiary this and this not the then and now as well, and this not the broadcasting channel. So that forum also you can participate in WhatsApp. But welcome to the program. I want to let you introduce yourself to the people and where you are calling from. And you already know the subject matter, and let me hear your contribution, please.
Thank you for accepting me. The first place.
Worries.
My name is Binta Findlay, and I call from London.
Thank you very much, Sister Binta Findlay. So you know the subject matter today. We talk about deals, which mining deals which have been cancelled or suspended by the government of Sierra Leone. And the interesting thing about it is this is not critical time because the economy they in shambles. Yet an area where they generate economy as the mining area that has been suspended or cancelled. And this not go down well with major donor partners them like the IMF and World Bank, where one just approved some funds for we the other day, and one actually they invest by one of the mineral companies them. What you get for say, Sister Binta?
Me honest to God, I really thank Mother Bill for going into that kind of thing, for go cancel all them deal. Because I tell you, from the morning where the past government been did it, I've been the doubt them dealer. You understand? I've been very concerned about them dealer. Because they say, we know they get better thing out of them dealer. Then people here just, they can't take with raw materials and go with them. They left Sierra Leone without nothing. You understand? When I look at Guinea, then your contract we then get, you go see say they get 60% share of their minerals them. Then the 40% then give them out and then they pay tax for them. But we, even the minerals they will get, we don't give one contract, somebody they can't buy, you land for 99 years. You remember what we people and did they so? The people away the mine, then they disrupt the land. Then they make sure, then they affect the villagers there. Then not only they take with minerals them, then they damage we land. They're waiting we they get out of it. So then deal the way no profit we nothing. So it better they look into them deals here back. Then for go into them, look at the deal, and in fact, a good way they don't cancel everything. Now a new deal, new arrangement. Yes. Then for look at the people away they can mind, what thing then they can bring in. What not for mine no more. Then big company, they all get money. What thing they bring to their villagers here for make them improve their life because then they damage we land, right? And then for pay the real tax. We go benefit the Sierra Leoneans and me, I accept it. Then Mother Bill, this time now, people they will know about deals, good deals. Let them sit down, they make a good deals for Sierra Leoneans. They know we get something out of it. I'm so happy about it. I will talk again about, maybe I'll come back on this mineral business, but I will talk about little bit about this Malama, so they call her airport. I did against them totally. Whatever they call them, are they against them totally? Why? Is because even the airport we get, how many planes they can they? How many planes? Where you they go say you they go build new airport? The one first, the only airport where you get, you not put her into standard. Then you take now other money, big money, bele money, go build what's in that they use for it. Why not take half of that money there or quarter of that money there, make the airport where we get to a standard airport. Then you buy ferry them, like 2 or 3 ferry, then at that water, they cross people there in and out. we go benefit them. Then for taking that money, they go build new airport. No, it's unacceptable. We're not for waste money. Say you for use with brains, then now what they use with money there. Not for just spend anyhow. I know why make some 10 days some man be happy with that deal because half of it go enter in them pocket. But we had enough. You know, it's about time the people the way they lead they know say we they suffer, they fight for we interest. Now I make her happy for this.
Sister Binta, I mean, well said. And Brother Usman Toli, I think he just they acknowledge with you. They say that most of these contracts require serious review and appraisal. I wish the decision was taken earlier than this. But this is a quick point I want to bring to you. Okay, bearing in mind that then company they are then very powerful, and as we speak now, it's a fact. Then a court, the highest court, they look into Ram. Knowing the way our country day, okay, because I'm willing, here to share the platform with you and to share this idea where you just espoused just now. Because for review a contract for the general benefit of the people in itself is a good thing. Are you with me, sister?
Yeah, I'm with you. I just because my battery the good load. Just continue.
Okay. It's a good thing. I don't see why people will condemn this in the first place, just to review a contract, to review the contract. Because in the end, and I did try for create that point there so people will understand, the basic necessity behind the reviewing of a contract is for make the contract in itself better. If the contract was okay, it won't be reviewed, or even if it review them, now for improve side them way not be, look all up. Okay? But what I try for ask now is, these are very powerful companies. We international friend them, the powerful one them, the IMF and the World Bank, they are not happy with this move where the government makes so. Because last year, the IMF approved money, to the government of Salone. And you know something else? The World Bank, they sponsor Sierra Rutile up to the tune of $60 million. Then the government now goes stop.
You know why? Let me answer your question. Even if they can we go court, no, we fight them. You know why make IMF they not go happy with this? Because they know say if we get a good deal, when a 50-50, you understand, they make more money, and the money where they go take loan to them go stop, and they don't want that.
Yeah,
white
absolutely.
people they always try. White people they always try for put we the black people then down. Then one, they use their money for suppress we. The moment where you want to raise your aid, they not agree. When are we for fight back? We got for fight back. We not afraid them. We not got for afraid them. This night the money me pa we leader them. Quickly afraid. IMF, they're international. What's in our international? Now they live with life. Now so we go sit down there, they dictate, so we tell we go, we great graphic. We had enough. It's about time now. We tell them say we go take over with currency, we fight for raise up. Now so Ghana do. Ghana balance them. Now Ghana stand. If we not agree balance them where they we stand, we fight back. So God, we go left under there and we go left by loan, we live by loan, till we die. Look, we get all them mineral here. We go lend money to them people here. Then they tell we how we they live. Then they tell we say if I put tax up, when you put the tax up, you people they suffer. You understand? Now because we they go take their money, but all the mineral they won't get. Now they support for can lend to. We not so we support for lend to them. It's about time we stand. Low we go the court. Low we go the court.
On that
we go
note,
the court. You know, they're not afraid that. We got for fight back. You know, we don't go left on this. They can't give me bad deal. We say, okay, we afraid them for tell them where Donald Trump be enter in America. Where the deal they not okay for, I not cancel all thing. Then we can't go court.
Yeah, then I stronger.
Why we afraid that?
You make it.
Yeah, we say can be stronger. And I make a glad step where all the African countries and they can't be one currency because it's about time we stand up to them people. Yeah. It's about time. We all don't get sense now. We're not stupid anymore. Now people they educate, the well-educated people and now all the African countries, they bring their work. Not like we great grandpapa, the way them they sleep today. Them they sleep, now we don't wake. So we not gonna accept.
Sister Binta, I think say everybody feel the passion, here and the emotion inside what you just say. This they come up from deep inside. Yeah, this they come up from
I can
from
lose
deep.
them.
Yes,
When me and talk to the white people, yeah, sometimes they lose them because the way they feel inside, because it's too much. It's enough is enough. It's about time we stand up. We the African, they know we less.
Okay.
Wait, man, not like you when they can't lend you money. If you say like you, it won't use it. Don't take rope, you don't turn a neck, olam. Where you lose, you go. Where ready, draw you back. That's what they treat we. How long?
Yeah.
Anybody when you take money to somebody, you're not slave to the person.
Brother boy, Jalo Jamboria. You see, this again, now a problem, and they talk contrary to what the lady they say. You say for tell and say we live now the white man's land. She's fully aware that we live now the white man's land, but you not seem forget waiting in the try for say. Why waiting is say get for do with waiting that we live in the white man's land, because that's quite the opposite they say. So that we not go continue
I know
for
what
live.
Make that man they talk so. What he make it they talk so. He not say when Mother Bio don't cancel this particular then diamond contract here, and they can get a little and nothing. When are they so most of them guys say when a Sierra Leone and say no. Then they go mine, then don't take the mining, they can't sell it abroad, they not get paper for us. Say Boku they can arrest them at airport here, they seize the diamond in their hand. Where they know they able to sell themselves. The white man they seize another hand, they use the money, they use another country. Now then they grumble so. Yes, so, now they grumble so. Me brother, not to you they talk about we government go deal with you. Or you na Sierra Leonean. And they talk about them massive company here. Where they make billion per year, then they take money, can't go, they go eat and can't draw all what in good thing what we get, they can't go, then give you chicken change. Not a chicken change, then they give you, they can't give you loan back. Then give you loan, they say low pay. They don't can take all we goodness, so they don't carry go na the country, they go enjoy. Then they can't give you loan now, they say low, we pay for their loan. The money where they don't pull per we hand, then they can't give you a back as loan. Now you see so. You think go read properly. Do research. When you go research, you know they vex for me, my brother. You know they vex for me.
And
like
brother Elijah,
the Sierra Leoneans there, so whether they make the deal, they go see how they go sort it out. But no deal with that big company here first. My brother, please, I beg, no vex for me. I know what they talk.
On that note, it seemed like you get fire, the baptism of fire. I go let you come again, some other time now the program, and probably at an earlier time. We've been planned for do the show for an hour. We just don't go over the 2-hour mark. Very, very interesting show. And I'm really, really happy that you come and close the program on a very, very high note. And on this note, I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, I thank my Sister Binta Findlay. We close the show on a high note. Brother Boy Jalo Jamboria, thank you for your contribution, where you make. And I also want to give thanks to Brother Elijah Tolly. Blame our leaders, and that's what she's doing. You see, it's a combination of things, It's the leaders not signing good contracts. It's another set of leaders saying, well, we look into that contract where the other one been signed. It's the people are getting fed up, just like the sisters say, well, there are other people who are trying to exploit the system, and this must stop. So it's a combination of things, and we are going to get there. Trust me, Africa. I've been your host and presenter, Prince Samuel Kroma. Today, the 7th of August 2019. It's been marvelous. La lefuna now. Una thank you for tuning in.